So most of our clients that work with us, including me, we never really file our tax return or March 15th or April 15th, whatever the deadline is according to the entity or the business type we are in. We always take the time to make sure that we are not rushing through the filing season, the deadlines, and filing incorrect or erroneous tax return. And if you are also in the same position where you're trying to file a tax return just before the deadlines and you just scramble through it through the busy season when your CPA, your EA, or your accountant, or your tax preparer, whoever you use, are busy and they're just trying to get it done through the deadline, then this video is definitely going to be helpful. I want you to stop and take time to look at your tax return before you file it, because there is so much going on before this deadline that you or your preparer can miss through some very important deductions or skip some income altogether, and that can come back and bite you 6 months later with interest, penalties, and taxes that you were not anticipating. And then comes the season of amending it and trying to fix it and waiting for almost a year to get that amendment filed can be a nightmare. In this video, we are going to talk about exactly what people go through when they file an amendment and when they rush through filing the tax return on the deadline. I have almost never filed my tax return or my corporation's partnerships or personal return on March 15 or April 15, whenever these things are due. Not once. I'm a tax professional. And before you think I'm being reckless, let me tell you why rushing to meet the deadlines could be the most expensive mistake you might be making this year. Look, I get it. The deadline is coming up and you're feeling like you have to get the returns done on time. Maybe you want a refund, or maybe your CPA told you that they are ready. Maybe you just want it off of your plates. But here's the thing. What happens when you file a return that has something wrong in it? You have to amend it. And that's when the real trouble starts. So when you file an original return, it goes through an automated process. And the system checks for the math errors, matches your documentation, and most of the time, nobody actually reads it line by line. But the moment you file an amended return, a real person has to pick that up. A human being has to sit down, opens your file, and starts going through every single line. Automated process versus trained eyes reviewing your numbers. Which one do you think is going to be more likely to find something? And it doesn't stop there. Amended returns right now are taking anywhere between 6 months to over a year to process. A full year of sitting there and wondering if you are going to get your money back, if you owe money, or if the IRS is about to come and open a whole new conversation with you. All because the original returns wasn't filed properly and it was rushed through. And here's the part that really gets people. When an IRS agent reviews your amended return, they are not just looking at the item you changed. They're looking at everything. So you're amending because you forgot to add a rental income. Fine, you are doing the right thing. But they're also looking at your mileage, your home office deduction, your vehicle deductions. Things that would have gone through the automated process without a second thought are now under a magnifying glass. One amendment can open the doors you never intended to open. Most people are actually going to tell you that you need to sit down with an accountant, your CPA, or your tax advisor 2 or 3 times a year, at least more than once a year. But I will tell you something that you probably never heard of. You actually need to sit down with your bookkeeper more than once a year. If you just hired somebody who's recording transactions for you left and right and providing a report once a year or once every quarter and nobody's reviewing it, then what point is it to have a bookkeeper? A software can do the same thing for you without having involved a real human being. What you really need to have is somebody who can do these transactions for you on a monthly basis and provide you an exact report on what's going on in your business, what's working, what's not working, what you're supposed to do to improvise your numbers. Finding out this information in an email just so it can go to your CPA to record them in a tax return doesn't really help your situation, does it? If you're able to use the real information, which is money coming in and money going out, and where the money is getting spent more and where it is producing the best result, you might be able to take better decisions with your money. This is exactly what we do. We don't just record transactions left and right. Anybody can do that. It's a commodity. A software can do it. Probably an AI software can do it. What you really need is somebody reviewing your finances, sitting down with you and going over what's going on, what's working, what's not working, and what area you can focus on. This is what we do. Not everybody's a good fit for us. But those who want to grow their business, those who want to increase their revenue, expand their territory, dominate their competition. But if you're just recording transactions left and right, if you have somebody who's just recording the transactions for you and you're forwarding that information over to your accountant, your CPA, then what good is that going to do for you to run your ongoing business on a day-to-day basis? It's not really giving you any decision-making information. This is what we do. This is what we help small business owners with. If you're interested, give us a call, click the link below. This information will send over somebody in our team who's going to sit down with you, go over the information that you provide us voluntarily, obviously, and wanted to share with us. And that will give us a better understanding of what's really going on. There is no pitch here. We're really just trying to understand what you really need help with, what we can do to do a value add for you so we can secure your business for a long period of time. So click the link below, call, text, email. We have all that information over there. We love to talk to you. We love to help you. We love to help you grow. So I'll see you guys on the other side. So what can you do instead? You can file for an extension. And I know some of you are thinking, doesn't that look bad? Absolutely not. An extension is a perfect legal tool that gives you 6-month addition to get your returns properly filed. That's it. It does not mean you owe more money, or it does not mean you are triggering an audit. It doesn't even raise any red flags. All it means is that you are choosing accuracy over speed. And in this game, accuracy wins every single time. I'll tell you exactly what I do. Tax season is chaos for every firm in the country. Between January and April 15, we are running at full capacity. And this is not the environment where I want the most complex tax return being finalized. So we file for an extension for my own return and for our clients. And our team works on them during the summer, where there is enough bandwidth to sit down, go through everything carefully, and make sure nothing is missed. The returns that needs the most attention should get the most attention. And that does not happen in mid-April. And here's one more thing I want you to understand. The IRS looks at your return as the complete picture. Your income, your deduction, your expenses, everything has to be in proportion. When something sticks out, that's what triggers a closer look. If a cleaning business is claiming 40,000 miles in deduction, or if a blogger is deducting $60,000 vehicle and revenue that does not support write-off, when you are rushing and you're guessing on your number instead of pulling the actual documentation, you're building a return that tells the IRS to dig deeper. So here's my advice. If your return isn't ready, don't force it. File for an extension. Take the extra time. Work with your tax professional during a window when they can actually give you a situation the attention is deserved. The cost of doing it right is a fraction of what you will pay in penalties, interest, and stress if you have to go back and fix it. And trust me, I have paid those penalties myself. I know what the letter feels like. If you want a team that's going to get your tax return done right and not just rush through it, we can offer you a 30-minute consultation. Link is going to be in the description. Let's make sure you're set up correctly before you hit that submit button on your tax return. On the next video, we're going to talk about a change that has happened on March 1st, 2026 that is automatically triggering a reporting requirement, not from you, but somebody else that you currently do business with, or you may be doing business with. They may be filing a report on you on the transaction that you did, and you are completely unaware of it. Most people are not paying attention to it until it starts to trigger the ripple effect. In this video, we're going to talk about what the new FinCEN requirement is that the Treasury has now mandated every financial institution to report to them every time there is a certain type of transaction. We're going to discuss that in full detail in our next video. So subscribe or follow our channel to stay tuned for that next video, because that's going to be something you do not want to miss. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a nice day. We'll see you guys on the next one.